Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode from TCG 353. I'm Jamie. Today we're playing Purple Yellow Robin, and the deck I made I think is really cool because it has one tech card that makes this build quite more consistent in the early game, gives you a bit more removal. It's all triggers, so expect to see life from triggers, and it's not all triggers in some meme sort of build. It really works. We kept the craziest looking hand ever at the start here against their game versus Red Ace. We have so many Direshis in there. The reason we're doing that is because going first for us, the curve is pretty nice. So we had two searches there. The Direshi is a trigger, so we can also use that for ramp if we do choose. We picked Shiryu, and now we have an option here to start to play the Shiryu and put the Lafitte into life. And that Lafitte then will allow us to KO that Luffy. We do, however, choose to use two Direshis instead, just to filter out our hand even more and like set ourselves up for the end game. And then our idea is to set up for like use a Shiryu next turn and set up that Lafitte. So we have another Lafitte and we use that for counter. Lafitte is one of the only Blackbeard characters that you can get the ability if you're not Blackbeard type. Here we pull a Shiryu from life, which is just funny to see, and draw a Shiryu with the Shiryu ability, so we're actually seeing all four of our Shiryus now, which is pretty cool. We have one in trash as well, so when we do use Shiryu, we can use it to put a Shiryu to the top of life. However, we won't. We'll use Lafitte, and Lafitte KOs a 4 cost or less, which is incredibly useful. Really, really is, and it also heals 1 life with the Shiryu, so on 6 down, you heal a life and KO it costs 4 on your opponent's board, which is just brilliant. Now, however, our opponent kind of gets their sequencing wrong here. What they should do is swing with the oh no, they can use it as rush, but yeah, they should have swung with the Marco first and then spawned the Marco wood from trash and have used rush on that Marco then as well, so they could have swung twice. Just something to know for you guys if you're Ace players. To be honest, when I KO'd that Luffy, I wasn't all that, like I didn't know that Marco protected the board. I knew that it protected itself, but to see that interaction, the way it can spawn itself back to life is really, really cool. And I hope this Red Ace deck does well because he's just an awesome character in the anime and manga, and I love to see characters with thematic decks, like Blackbeard Pirates, for example. Very interesting cards. We've attached 2 onto our Shiryu there to swing into that Luffy. Our opponent doesn't want to go 7k. They could have trashed an 8k and if they wanted to, but they didn't. And they give us 2k for a 6k swing with Robin. We use Shiryu again and trash a Zoro. And the thing with the Shiryu ability, right, is that you might think when you read it that trashing a card from hand is a bit of a negative effect. But one, if you have 2 Shiryus, you can trash a Shiryu and put that Shiryu to top, which is hugely beneficial. 2, you can trash Zoro, and it's the only way this deck can trash Zoro other than Gum Gum Giant actually. And having a Zoro in trash is so good. Because it'll allow you to, if you're lucky enough to get a Gecko Morian trigger, to spawn out a Zoro and heal a life. Opponent swings 10 into us, we trigger a Hogback and spawn that out. And we countered out of the double attack that they gave us, but we took the 2 swings afterwards. If we took that double attack, then we would have been at 0 life at the moment, which isn't exactly what we wanted. Our opponent gives us counter for the 5k swing, which is a great thing about Robin, by the way, is always poking into their leader first because they're incentivized to counter with Robin, and then you can clear board more easily. Here we will swing with Hogback 5 into their life, and they do take. We're not swinging into their characters anymore, so it's fine. And here you see what I was talking about. So we're able to, with the Blackbeard ability, get a Gecko Moria to go on top of life. That can spawn at a cost 4, which is the Zoro that we have in trash. So if our opponent swings into us here, we'll actually heal life. Very, very useful. Here our opponent swings 12k double attack. We have 2 Gum Gum Giants in hand. We're going to use them both. We'll give them the Gum Gum and 2 2ks. The Gum Gum Giant is cracked with this build because you can ramp back quite easily. All your big boss monsters are 8 costs as well, so you can leave that up naturally enough. Our opponent swings 8 into our Shiryu, and we'll give a counter for that. They swing 10 into our Shiryu, and we are going to give them even more counter for that. We have Gum Gum Giant in hand that we do want to use, which I believe is the right move. We'll trash a brick, protect the card, and we draw into 2k and a 1k. So if our opponent chooses to swing into it, which they do, they swing 10, we've drawn into enough counter to protect. So now our board is much stronger than our opponents, but more than that, we have a pretty close to guaranteed way of clearing their board now. First card that we want to swing with is the Robin, for the same reasons I mentioned earlier. If they take, then we get a banish off. If they give us counter, then we have an easier time clearing their board. Here we did have the option to just swing base cost there, swing 10 into 10 and 8 into 8. However, the better line I think is to clear their board 1. And this is a bit of a risk, but we swing 10 to 10 and we get it. With that 10k gone, the ores becomes a 4k, and we play with the Corona to freeze the marker. So now our opponent, it looks likely that they can only swing twice, once with leader ability and once with whatever's in hand. However, they did search out the perfect card for them at this moment. But as you remember from earlier, we placed that Gecko Mori up top, who allows us to play at the Zoro, which literally saves us the entire game. If they got that double attack off, which they would have, and then swung 10k rush into us, they would have won. So us having that Gecko Moria top of life won us that game. We just peppered down our opponent with a bunch of 7s. The next swing was going to come from leader, which was going to be 7. Our opponent had 0 counter in hand, so they were going to get that banish. And then it was just, I think, 16 to face. So good game to our opponent. Let's go into the next one. By the way, I absolutely love this deck. I don't know if you can tell by the commentary. I just think it's so fun. And Dereshi is a card that I consistently search for. You probably know this here as well. I consistently search for it. There's only 2 cards in this deck that don't trigger, so Dereshi will hit all the time. You'll always get value out of it. And same with Lilith. So this deck does run 8 searchers, which I think is very valuable. On turn 2, we swing the Lilith into their 1 cost. It goes, we'll swing 6k into their life and it gives 2k counter for that. Then we'll use Dereshi and we'll search. We don't have many 2ks in hand and we'll have bricks. We'll take 2k and a 1k. The 1k is Lafitte, because having Lafitte in life is actually quite useful. We get a Shiryu, and a Shiryu draws us 2 cards, which is great. This was a previous problem, in my opinion, with Purple Yellow Robin, is that your hand size you just lost your hand size pretty much so early, so often. But this deck running Shiryus and Gum Gum Giants and aggressively using Gum Gum Giant makes it so that you actually have quite a large hand throughout the game consistently, and you can filter out your hand because Gum Gum discards cards and Shiryu draws cards. We get a Perona trigger and we play out the Hogback, so now we have 3 bodies on board, or we have 3 swingers, 3 ballad swingers. We'll swing 5, we'll swing 5. Our opponent gives us counter for the banish, of course, and they take a 6. They've left their blocker standing. Here we get a Blackbeard, and our Blackbeard can either play out the Perona, or it can play out the or I can put the Perona to life, the Dereshi, which draws a card, Perona, which plays out a Perona from hand, and finally it could use the Aliva to draw 3 trash to. However, my hand is pretty nice and I don't really want to draw 3, so I don't bother with that, and I go instead to put the second option in there. I'm already at the forget. I should really do some brain games from memory. Our hand is very nice. We use the Dereshi to search because our top end isn't really there, and just using the Gecko I think would kind of stump us for next turn. We're in a very good spot as well with our life. So we're happy enough, and we search a Shiryu, which is absolutely perfect because we can play that out, put it here on top, and honestly we could put the Lafitte up there to just KO that little blocker, and that's why we consider this for a little while, because that little blocker is kind of annoying. However, putting a Shiryu up top, drawing 2 cards and healing 1 is just really, really useful, so that's what we do. We give them 2k rather than giving them 1k here. And we let it go once they swing 8k into it. The rest of their swingers now aren't too scary because they won't be big enough to swing into Blackbeard, and if they swing into Outback, it's spawn into Zoro, so they don't want to do that. We'll take that 5 and draw 2 cards from that. Gekomori is the limit of our top end at the moment, so I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but it is something to note. Our opponent swings 8 into our Blackbeard, and we take that. We have options here of what we want to do. I think what we'll do is we search Lilith into the Dareshi, and we're going to Dareshi into Shiryu. So this turn we're going to draw 3 cards essentially and play out a 6 cost AK. Or sorry, we're going to draw 3 cards and trash 1, which is just so strong. Dareshi is genuinely really good in this deck. We don't have any more Don to attach, so the line is best to do Dareshi rather than keeping 3 Don up for no reason. Select card to trash. We trash the Gecko, which is an interesting play, but we don't need it anymore because we don't need bodies, because next turn we're going to go for game. So I think taking counter here is the best idea, and we have 4 2Ks, 1K, and we do have a Blackbeard just in case it does go a little longer than what we need. Opponent swings 5 into us, we'll give him 1K. Opponent swings 7 into us, we'll draw 2 cards from that. And we have a really nice top end here. Our opponent has to hit every hit now, and once we countered out of this, they don't really have a chance anymore, I don't think, because they only have 3 swings here. We still have counter for them as well. We have 2 2Ks in hand, and we have so many triggers in life that could be useful. And here you see 1. Play the hog back because they can't swing into the hog back. And we'll get a trigger here again. So we had 3 Gum Giants in hand for the end. So probably what we would have done is just swung a bunch into their life. And if we got the win from that, then we would have. And then we would have just swung a bunch into their life without attaching Don. Then what we would have done is, if we didn't get the win from maybe 3 of those swings, then we would have not attached Don. Unless, we knew we were going to go for the win. We could have played Blackbeard down, healed 1, and then kept 2 down for Gum Giant. And survived. 100% we would have survived that. So let's go into the next game now against Red Blue Ace, who is a really cool leader. We get a Dareshi trigger from Life, and that draws us into a Dareshi, which is cool. We're happy about that. We'll use our leader ability to trash a Lafitte to put the Lafitte into life. And here we'll use Dareshi to search, and we search out a 2K and a Blackbeard. So our hand is actually very good. In my opinion, it's very good at the moment. We get him to life, and it's Gum Giant is what we get. So actually this deck has 6 non-triggers, 4 Gum Giants and 2 Zoros. We'll sink 6 into the leader, they give us 2K, and we'll play out Shiryu. Shiryu will trash a Dareshi because it's not going to come up anymore, and we'll play a Lafitte out as well. And now this Lafitte can KO their Marco, quite simply, and that's exactly what it's going to do there. Opponent draws from that as well. So our opponent probably could have swung with Marco first and then swung with leader, maybe got a bit more value that way. We're on 10 down here, so we're going to consider what to do. We'll swing 6 first. The 6 is a great number against Ace, as you guys know, and we will we'll play Blackbeard and choose which card to put on top. We're going to put Baby 5 on top to draw 2 cards. This deck has so much draw. I'm sure you know, so Shiryu draws 2, Gum Giant draws 2, Baby 5 draws 2, Dareshi draws a card on trigger, Dareshi also draws 2 cards when we play it, and we will consistently go and try and use Dareshi. You might have noticed the only time we've taken second in this video is against decks that usually take second. I like going first with this deck. You can ramp on second, and then you can hit your you can still hit your big bodies on curve. When I go second, I still ramp once, just so when I hit my big bodies, I have 1 down up for Gum Giant if I choose to do that. Which is, Gum Giant early is quite good. I do rate it. Here we're on 10 down. We've got a Gecko or a Shiryu to play. We're just considering how we want to do it. I think Shiryu would be nice, putting Shiryu into life. But first we'll just swing a little bit and see what happens. Our opponent's board is quite nice. It's just frustrating that they're AK, you know. They use the blocker initially, which is, I don't know if it's a good sign, but it's definitely a sign, you know. We'll just swing 10 into them, which is more than likely leader ability in 1k. Yeah, the leader ability at 2k, and gives the 2k. And here we have the option to leave 2 Dana for the Gumbo Giant, which is kind of nice. So we'll play out a little to start, I guess. Or rather, look, if we play out that Perona, which is actually quite nice, if we play out that Perona, our opponent has 3 swings into us now, and they probably do want to swing all into us. But we have we have 4 2Ks, so we're pretty happy to survive, pretty much. Our opponent uses the Whitebeard, and the Whitebeard allows them to move our Blackbeard, which is a bit of a frustration. And here they swing 9 into us, and we have counter for that, but we just take it. And with that, we draw with Shiryu. The Blackbeard triggers as well, but the Blackbeard trigger isn't going to help us, so we don't bother with it. Here, what we can do is like Blackbeard and set a life on top, and then keep 2 down up for Gumbo Giant. Our opponent, however, seems to be kind of taking these hits, so we choose to go for game. Yeah, we swung 8, we swung 10. Our opponent took the 10, we swung 6. And here we use Oliva to swing 8. And still with that 8, what we could have done is placed a Shiryu to put a Shiryu on top of life, and we would have had, I think, 1 down up for, yeah, I believe so, 1 down up for Gumbo Giant, or 2 down up. I'm not sure the way it actually worked out with the Don. But either way, we still could have pivoted to a defensive move there. Our opponent was bricked up, so we'll game plan. Stuck with this next game. It is again started at 30 Luffy Ace. A really good deck, actually. Very, very good. And I don't think it's like we didn't start this game intentionally looking to play the way we play in this, but we do. And I think it's like a pretty good way to beat this deck. And it's a way that I think Robin succeeds most. It's pretty much starving them for resources. We choose to start and start, so we get set up a board. Our opponent swings 6 with their what the heck? Who is that? Boa. Oh, with the Boa card. That's the really card. And this swings 6 with leader, and we take the 6k from leader. Here to start, I think it's best to attach it onto Lilith and swing with that. We don't actually have a 6 down play. We are going to play down the Perona next turn to give us counter for the 6. And yes, we will play down the Perona. We leave a Don up, which kind of looks strange, but we have a Don standing so that if our opponent took the Boa Hancocks with the Lilith swing into Boa, then we could have attached it onto leader and swung in a little bit more aggressive. Our opponent swings 8 into our life, which we will take. We get a lever trigger, which is draw 3, trash 2, and we'll trash the Zoro, which is hugely valuable, and the Gecko as well. We have so much top end that we're actually in a very, very nice spot. Like the next 4 turns are pretty much solid for us now. We just passed there because our opponent is a 6k leader. We don't have 6k bodies on the board. But slowly now we'll start chipping away at our opponent, especially now that we have Teach on the board. And we have a Gecko coming up, and then we have a Teach. The nice thing as well, I believe we have a Perona in trash, so we can just use the Gecko and deploy it straight away. Our opponent plays out a Galdino and a Luffy that rusts a blocker, and that is also a rush, so they use the Galdino ability to get that rush off. We get a Perona trigger from life, and it's a Hogback that we trigger out. And we use the ability, and what's great about that is that by doing that, we get the Perona into life, and so the Perona can then be spawned out on the next turn. We'll swing 5 into 3, we'll see what they give us, and they give us the card. And here we use Blackbeard again to trigger something from life. We'll put a Kamachi up there and consider whether we want to, or how we want to swing. We'll swing 11 into their 9, they have 1 down up, so I'm expecting an event. However, the 3-cost freeze event you can only use for your leader. However, they're running this 1-cost, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's an event that was made for Red Law that gives 4k to your leader character if your opponent, or if there is a body on board that is 10,000 power or more, I think. which the conditions are now we have two Blackbeards up. Now we have 2 life, our opponent has 3 swingers, they probably have another rush character in hand, but we are pretty solid for counter. We have Gum Giant and we have 3 2Ks, but they get, which is really good, they get Brook to rest the Don. I didn't even know Brook would do that, and they play a Galvino to attach to rest the Don as well. So there, we were quite fortunate because our opponent kind of got a perfect bit, but we just had enough counter. We also had the Kumachi there, and the Kumachi saved the game for us because we were able to restand with we were able to just take the Kumachi into hand and counter that way. Now this is where the Star plan comes into full effect because we can clear out our opponent's board easily and set up a life for ourselves. I think playing this Shiryu is actually our best move here, so we can go a little bit more aggressive into their life. So we could essentially attach maybe like a 6 here and a 6 to Perona possibly, because if we're replacing the card on board, we want to replace the Perona because that would put it into trash, which will allow us then to spawn it out if it's Trilliver. If we do decide to use some Trillivers, and that's what we do. We have 2 Don standing, and we are hoping to draw into a Gum Giant with our Gum Giant. It's better to fit, and with a Shiryu as well, it's better to pretend to have 2 Don here because 1, we could have 2 Gum Giants, and 2, they could use like another rest card and rest it on and then swing big sort of thing. So we don't want to mess around with that anymore. We take the AK because the best our opponent can do now is swing 9, and we have counter for that, so it's fine. It would be Gum Giant, Trashy Dereshi, and give them a 1k, and then next turn we have it. Especially if they go all in because they mostly have counter events in hand and only 1k counter. So go game to our opponents. We just built a massive board easily, and eventually we started removing their bodies. So that was one really good showing of the deck, and here we are into our last game of the video. If you enjoyed this video so far, please do leave a like. I think this deck is so fun, so cool. It took me not long at all to get this content as well. Sometimes with these off-meta and rogue decks, it takes a lot of hours to get good content and to get wins in front of you guys. But for this deck, honestly, it's a breeze. It really was. You see here at the start, we did something unique that we don't really do with this deck very often, and that was we played out a Lafitte. We don't expect to get the on-KO effect ever from it. Like, I don't think our opponent is really going to swing into it. However, playing against blue-green Luffy, it is very good to have a character on board that allows you to swing into your opponent's bodies. Now here what happens, our opponent plays out a proc raw, and I think they reckon that they can bounce the Luffy back to hand. They're wrong, they can't. The reason they can't do that is because it has to be a 2-cost turn. They did play out a block super for them. We get another banish off, which is great, and it's the 7-cost Boa. And here we will use Shiryu to set Shiryu into life and just take the first swing that they give us, because their Luffys aren't all that powerful. They actually swing with the crop, which is cool, good for them. And here we get to use the Lafitte, swing with the Luffy. We swing with the Lafitte because if they do KO it, then, well, basically they won't KO it. So it is a very good card here in this instance. Use another Shiryu, Trashy Dereshi, which, you know what, in all honesty, may not have been a great idea, because we could have used the Dereshi there to search and got 2 more cards to hand. However, we didn't, and we play out a hogback. So our board is actually looking quite nice. Our opponent is feeling the effects of the banish because they clearly don't have many cards to play since they played out Prisoner Raw, which you just never see. We trigger our Shiryu, draw 2 cards, and now we see our top end. We get a baby 5 trigger as well, so we draw 2 from that. So from maybe 4 or 5 cards in hand, we now have 8 cards in hand just from 1 turn. Here we are thinking on how we want to swing. Like, we do sort of want that Boa Hancock gone, but also the optimal turn for us is definitely playing Blackbeard. So that's also what we want to do as well. Our opponent has a block, so if we did attach enough Don to swing into Boa and get rid of it, which is still unlikely, then our opponent would just block out of it. It wouldn't be worth it, so we leave 2 Don standing. and rather than attaching it onto the leader in swing 6, we just leave 2 dots standing, and our leader hasn't swung this turn. We set a Blackbeard up top of life with Blackbeard, which is really, really good. And with that, then we are able to KO their crop. Our opponent plays out Crocodile and plays a Bond Clay. They freeze both our Shiryus, which is actually very annoying, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to see that. And we use one Gum Gum Blade here. We have a Gecko Moria now on the board, which is nice. And swing 10 into our opponent, and they kind of have to give us counter here because they give us a blocker. So we do want to go for game, definitely. We could probably survive another turn, to be honest. And here we swing 15. We should have used an Oliva and then swung, what would that be, 9 plus 8, 17, just to absolutely guarantee it, because that would have been like guaranteed lethal. But we didn't, but we did win, so look. That's all well and good. If you're a winner at the end of the day, then what does it matter? That's not true. Don't believe that. That's not good philosophy. I hope you enjoyed these videos. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Keep on commenting, everyone, please. I actually really love talking to you guys in the comments. Love the hype, and I love the suggestions that you're giving as well. Someone said Purple Foxy recently. Someone was talking about Yellow Vega. I'm going to look into these decks. I have some videos pre-recorded already. So the next few videos are within my schedule of decks that I think are cool, especially this deck. Purple Yellow Robin is awesome. Key cards in this deck, I think, honestly, are Dareshi. Lafitte is really good, but it's probably Dareshi, Shiryu, and Gum Gum Giant. Those three are very, very strong for this deck, especially Shiryu. Kind of makes the deck, I'll be honest. And Dareshi makes this deck extremely consistent, because you can search so much with Lilith as well. So you have 8 searchers in this deck, all for triggers. There's only 6 cards that don't trigger, so if you don't hit, it's just incredible bad luck. I'm yapping a lot. I really do hope you enjoyed the video. I'd like to see you in the next one. Make sure to leave a like if you did like it. If you dislike it, then, you know, don't click that dislike button. That's for one thing. And I hope you subscribe, because I'm posting every day. I'm really enjoying it, and I like to build a solid community. So I won't talk too much more. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and all the best. Bye now.